Greetings, I am Tom Earl. On this week's episode, we talk about connecting with your intuition and being yourself with Tasneem Noor. Check it out.
Yay!
Greetings, I am Tom Earl, and this is my year of grace. We know you could be anywhere, so the fact that you are here today sharing your greatest gift, your time and energy, means the world to me. I am not alone. I have an amazing guest. She goes by the name of Tasneem Noor. Burr, 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 burr. How's it going, Tasneem?
I'm good. How are you, Tom?
Wonderful, thank you. Could you unlock this for me again?
Yes, my face.
For the few folks out there who don't know who you are, shame on you. No, I'm just kidding. You mind if I introduce them to you?
Please.
Via, I have a copy of your, the people that you have told me you hate. So I'm going to read that list.
Okay. I'm sorry if you're on it.
Number one, Tom Earl, what? You hate me? No, I'm going to read your bio. Is that cool?
That's very cool. Thank you.
Here we go. Oh yeah, this is about to get real. I don't know if I've ever read your middle name, Farah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's
it's
up.
A very important name.
My middle name is Harold.
Harold.
Yeah, high fives for middle names.
High five.
Boom. And we still got your back if you don't have one. It's all good. Okay. Tasneem Farah Noor is the award-winning author of the best-selling. No, I'm going to leave it for real. Tasneem Farah Noor is the award-winning author of the bestseller, The Faith Connection. Your journey starts with knowing yourself. Do you have like a theme song or some sort of sound that goes off when your book's mentioned?
Woohoo!
Okay, let's do that again then. Is the award-winning author of the bestseller, The Faith Connection. Your journey starts with knowing yourself.
Woohoo!
Boom! Tasneem is the founder of Noor Enterprises, SOULful Transformations committed to providing transformational experiences, personal development, and opportunities for meaningful dialogue. Her mission, y'all need to brace yourself for this, is some serious dopeness coming your way. Her mission is to establish thriving, peaceful communities where conversations of faith build bridges of compassion and collaboration. Through coaching, trainings, and facilitation, she helps people learn how to deepen their faith, in parentheses, self-trust, and authentically express themselves and take courageous action.
Let's do it.
Tasneem received her master's in education and student affairs from the University of California, Los Angeles, also known as
UCLA.
Boom. For over 1,700 million years, Tasneem worked, for 7 years, Tasneem worked with student affairs on campuses including Santa Monica, UCLA, and Cal State. She is honored to actively support New Ground's mission. Ding, 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 ding. Yes, indeed. So Tasneem is also a coach and a master facilitator around interfaith experiences. If you're an interfaith facilitator yourself, she's amazing at coaching people like that, bringing together masterminds. Literally a genius, amazing person when it comes to interfaith dialogue, bringing diverse groups of people together to have huge, boxing match. No, I'm just playing. Dialogue. Tasneem's the real deal. What's up, Tasneem?
Hey, Tom.
How'd I do?
You did pretty well. Woohoo.
So the good folks listening know about the New Ground bell. Mm-hmm. That whenever anybody mentions they work at New Ground, we just give a little New Ground disclaimer.
Yeah.
That we are here representing just ourselves. We're not here representing New Ground. I'm here as Tom Earl, the founder of the Celebration Academy. Tasneem's here as one of the biggest fans of the Celebration Academy. No, I'm just playing. So
it is true. I am a fan.
Oh. And she has her own life. Yes. So so just putting that out there, but you already know about these disclaimers. We've interviewed Umar Hakim, Andrea Hodos. So
Andrea too.
Yep.
Yay.
Andrea was our Passover episode.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'll have to go watch that one.
Yep.
I saw Omar's.
Yeah.
So.
So we're pretending like it already happened. Honestly, next week is when it's coming out, but y'all, it's not a secret. I record these ahead of time, so play along, Tasneem.
Sorry. I just get excited. You mentioned Andrea, and hello.
I have been keeping that one under wraps.
Yes. Oh,
it's
okay.
really nice. It's already happened, but it's really nice. She goes really into depth on Judaism and her journey to her faith, and then I give her a really hard time. I'm like, she tried to gloss over how she met her husband, but I'm like, no, I am a romantic.
Tell me the whole story.
So she did, and then she's like, and then we got married. I'm like, no. How did you go from boyfriend, girlfriend to married? And like for 2 or 3 weeks, she was like, should I edit that out? Should I not? And I was like crossing my fingers, and she's like, go for it. So it's really nice.
I'm glad. I know she has a great story.
She does. It's amazing. So hope y'all enjoyed it. If you have not watched it yet, timeworld.com/Andrea, ANDREA. Boom, that was some good teamwork.
Yeah, that's Andrea and I. Yeah.
So, as I've said to many of my guests, a bio can only capture so much amazingness.
Yeah.
So, if you really knew me, you'd know that.
If you really knew me, you'd really know that I'm like a little girl in one moment and deep and I don't know, wise in the other. And so it even fascinates how I go from being that little girl to being that older, mature, wise woman. And I have to say I love being that little girl. And the wise woman part comes easily to me, but I really cherish that little girl, that joy that I feel when I just go yay and woohoo, and it's just integrated and I don't even realize it sometimes, but I really cherish it. Yeah.
How did you get into interfaith work?
How did I get into interfaith work? I just, I've lived in 3 different countries before coming here to United States. I came here as a 16-year-old. And I lived in India, in Pakistan, in Dubai. Always, my family is all Muslim, but I saw a lot of religious overplay. So we celebrated the Hindu festivals in India. There were a lot of Christians in Dubai that I was friends with. There were Muslims, of course. And being around people who prayed differently, who taught differently was just the norm for me. And so when I came here and I saw my family living in LA doing interfaith work, it immediately drew me in, right? Especially after 9/11. The intention was we want people to know that we are Muslims and, we're normal people and we're kind people and we laugh and all of that. And we want to make an effort to understand others as well. So I just got into it and it came really naturally.
And what about it do you think came so naturally?
Okay, so I just came back from China.
Okay.
And I got the celebrity treatment over there because I was the foreigner and I looked different and I said hello and they got so excited that I said hello back and they wanted pictures with me. And at some point I was literally like, the mobbed is not the right word, but there were all these girls, high school, middle school age, like, we want a picture, like a selfie, like this whole group.
Wow.
And they're like, you're so beautiful, you're so beautiful.
Aww.
Like, and what I'm taking away and why I'm saying that to you right now is like they brought this innocence and this joy with people, with someone who was completely different than them, who spoke a different language, who had curly hair and not straight hair, who, color, height, all of it. And I forget your question.
Why am I the coolest person out there?
Why am I the coolest person out there?
No, how come interfaith came to you so naturally?
That joy that those girls had for me being different is the joy that I have when I meet people who are different, particularly who believe different things, who practice life differently. Because to me, my relationship with God is so important. And I just am curious to know what your relationship is with you, with God, with other people, with humanity. And it's like such a defining thing for me that I can't imagine knowing you without having a conversation about faith.
That's so powerful.
Yeah.
What do you think are some of the barriers that prevent people from feeling that joy around celebrating differences that you do?
Yeah. I think it's just that sense of, fear or awkwardness of either being judged yourself, or of that fear of offending someone else. Oftentimes we're like, oh, I want to tell them how I pray, but I don't want them to think I'm converting them or pushing them, right? So there's all that sense of how will I be perceived if I have this conversation? How am I being perceived if I share this or if I ask this? So it's vulnerable. It's definitely vulnerable to show up and be authentically yourself and to invite the other person to be their authentic self when so much of it is held privately or seen as something too private to talk about in public.
I mean, it makes people sound like the majority of people are really good people.
Yeah.
The only thing holding them back from experiencing cross-cultural interactions is awkwardness and a little bit of fear.
Yes.
At the same time, though, we know that hate crimes have risen dramatically.
Yes.
And, I mean, we have a white supremacist as a president.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to imagine that that's it for people.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm in the same camp you are.
Yeah.
So I'm just like wondering.
Are
for
there
people
biases?
Who might,
Yes, for sure. I mean, there are biases. I think in this era right now, the thing that's throwing me off my game, honestly, is how you can't take anything for granted. You can't take facts to be facts. You can't take perspectives to be as perspectives. And everyone is questioning the truth or authenticity and what is authentic and what is true. And for me, when I work with anybody, be it in a personal relationship or professional, the one thing I'm taking one place that I'm coming from is that I'm being authentic and you're being authentic with me. And if I don't feel your authenticity, then it's very hard for me to go anywhere with you, metaphorically, physically, wherever. And I think if you have biases or someone else has biases and is willing to be authentic with me and say, hey, I have some biases, I have some questions, I'm curious, I want to learn, I feel this way, I think this way. And FYI, I've had these conversations too, where someone came up to me and she said, I think this way about Muslims, but it doesn't feel right to me. And I don't want to be that person, but I really do feel this way. I really do think Muslims are violent because of what I see on TV. But it can't be true, but it feels true. And we had a conversation about that, So that's authenticity. That's real conversation. And that's what I'm all about when I say bridge building and connection.
I love that. And I know a lot of people listening resonate with that too.
Yeah.
So you use the word authenticity a lot. It sounds like that. Is that a big part of what you do?
Yes. I think, yes.
Okay.
Authenticity, what does that even mean? I think being authentic means being whole. Being authentic means being open to growth and growing. Being authentic means being vulnerable. Being authentic means being willing and open to see what's coming and going with the flow, right? And I think being authentic takes a lot of courage, takes a lot of commitment, takes a lot of intentionality, and it's not like, oh, I am authentic, done, move on. It's like every moment is a choice of how am I being authentic here? And how can I be even more authentic? So authenticity is, yeah.
I was so looking forward to this part of our interview, talking about authenticity. And it's because I love and hate this word.
Why?
So I was like, I need Tasneem, the biggest advocate for authenticity, to clarify some things for me.
Let's do it.
Because a lot of times I see authenticity used as a placeholder for excuses. For example, like, I'm going to be a jerk or an asshole, but like, I'm just being my authentic self. Or like, I don't feel like doing something. It's like, I just authentically don't feel like doing this. And so to me, it sounds like a mask for bullshit.
Yeah.
And I know that's not what it means. Like, I know authenticity from the heart, all those kind of things. So I love and don't like the way people are abusing. So.
Yeah, I hear you. How it can be an excuse. Like, I met someone recently and she was just in this space of like feeling very low and sad, and we were in a large gathering and everyone was laughing and sharing, and she was in the space of just going inward. And she said to me, like, I just want to be authentic, but I feel like I can't be in this space where so much is expected. And then I'm the weird one if I'm just being me. So I feel that tension. And I think that is why authenticity and intentionality go together, right? Am I authentic when I say I'm comfortable and loving this conversation? Yes. Am I authentic when I say I'm feeling a little hot right now? Yes.
What's going on here, Tom?
Exactly.
Just gotcha interviewing?
It's a little warm, it's a light, it's whatever. But so both are authentic, both are my truths. And when I'm being intentional about being present with you and being present for the listeners and the viewers, and more importantly, being present with myself, the expression of authenticity that's helping me to be present is to look at you and say, I'm having a good conversation. Let's dig deeper. That's being authentic.
Ding. Ding, ding. You told me when Tasneem, before we started, I always ask my guests, what do you want to get out of this? And you're like, I want one of us to have an aha moment.
Yeah.
We have one.
Yay.
We're only whatever minutes in. What I'm hearing is authenticity can't stand on its own.
Yeah.
That sometimes I'm going to authentically feel like I don't want to do this, which is why, tell me if I'm wrong, what I'm hearing. You have to have many values hanging out together. So if you have this value of I see things through, or a value of my intention to stick it out, or that even if you're not feeling it, these other values, they hang out together and help you see it through.
Yes. Anything has to have a channel, right? Otherwise, by itself, it's meaningless or even destructive, including authenticity. So when you channel an intention is a way to channel your authenticity. What's serving you? What's nourishing you? If it's nourishing you to take time out and not do something, then please be authentic that way and not do it. But do it in a way that is healthy and for the relationship as well, right? So it can't just be like, oh, I don't feel like doing this, I'm going to be authentic to myself, screw you. It's like, no, our relationship should be authentic too, right? So that's the vulnerable part, is to create time and say, hey, Tom, I know I have to do this for you, but right now I'm not feeling it. And we can either talk about why, or we can talk about when to come back to it. Right?
But what if that's your surgeon?
My surgeon?
And they're like, hey, Tom,
they're about to operate on me.
authentically not feeling like this is where I want to be right now. So let's process it, or figure out a time we can do it at another time.
Wait, a surgeon?
Yeah, like, that's what I mean. Like, if you're like, hey, like, you know what? I'm just not feeling this today. So, like, you know, like, if you want, we can process it. But, like, I'm not going to show up as my best self today if I do this surgery. And you're like...
You're my surgeon.
You're like, surgeon, I don't care. Do it.
Actually, no. I don't want that surgeon doing anything to me in that moment.
I do.
You do?
I am here. I need this operation. I'm going to die if you don't do it. I don't care if you don't feel like it. Go into the part of yourself that has been trained to do this.
Yeah, but you'll trust him?
I feel like that if we're going to show up as professionals, that you have to find a way that if you are going to show up today, whether you feel like it or not, you have to show up as your best.
Yeah.
Or like, and I'm not saying burn yourself out, but there's so many times where there's things that I just do not feel like doing. Yeah. But people are relying upon me.
See, but authenticity is not just about feeling and doing what you feel like.
Okay, this is the part I want to get into. Yeah. Tell me that this is what we need clarity on for people who use the word authenticity.
Authenticity is about being truthful to your values.
Okay.
It's being truthful for what will help you to be more present, right? Because the most power you have at any given time to do anything is in the present moment. I don't have power tomorrow. I have power right now in this moment. So I think authenticity is a way to honor the present moment by saying, hey, this is all that's coming up for me. The bags of the messy stuff and the good stuff, everything. And then from that, you still have to make a choice. That's the intentionality comes back, right? From that whole package, how are you going to move forward in a way that's nourishing you? So I would hope that surgeon is a surgeon because he wants to be a surgeon, is trained to be a surgeon, is like, has a whole lot of things that inspires him, empowers him to be a surgeon. And so how can he tap into that part of him that will help him to be true to that calling or to that purpose? Does that answer?
Yeah, I think so. Like in Marines, I think there's a phrase in the Marines, it's like, embrace the suck. So it's like, yes, if what authentically is coming up for anybody in the moment is like, I don't want to do this. This sucks.
Acknowledge it. Yeah. Acknowledging it is the first step. And then go ahead.
Then go for it. Sounds like you got it. I'm prompting you. I was curious how you would, like, if you had an authentic skeptic in front of you.
What would you do? I think like just acknowledging it is such a big relief. Like I know for myself when I am frustrated or tired and I try to just be like, no, I need to focus and don't acknowledge my frustration or the tiredness, it's harder for me to be present. It's harder for me to be effective. It's harder for me to be nicer, right? But as soon as I acknowledge, okay, I'm frustrated right now, it's like whoosh, something opens up. That's authenticity. That's the first step. The second step, I'm doing this on the go.
You got this. You're rocking it.
I would say intentionality. The second step is the intention. What is my intention in this moment? And then how can I authentically be true to that intention? And then the third step is to act on your intention, right?
I love that.
Yeah.
I think I'd like add an intention somewhere in that, like, what is my big picture intention? Because sometimes there's going to be a lot of this sucks to fulfill that big intention.
Yeah, that's true.
I've been really into listening to information on workplace psychology.
Yeah.
And was listening to this brilliant woman who, I forget her name, I apologize. She was talking about how you shouldn't ever decide if you're going to quit a job on a bad day. So if you're like having a really bad week, that's not the time to decide
Yeah.
if this is the career or job
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
But it's like if you're having the best day ever
Yeah.
at work and you're like, this isn't the career for me, that's probably a little more reliable.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
that's like when people are like, I think people use authenticity as this like mask for something
Yeah.
else. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not feeling this, so
Yeah.
I don't want to do it because I'm
Yeah.
authentic.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
no.
I mean, anytime you're using anything to cover something up, it's not gonna get too far. It might feel like a solution, but it isn't. It comes back and hurts you and harms you one way or the other. So I used to be a pro at suppressing things. So I know that really well. And I now have to make a conscious effort to be present to that's why I keep saying, you know, what's coming through, what's true for me in this moment, to be authentic. Because I never meant to be unauthentic. I never meant to hide or suppress the emotions or the thoughts that were coming. But that's what I was trained to do, consciously or unconsciously. And so that's what I did. Yeah.
It's awesome. I dig
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Thank you. And just to own my own stuff that I've been really working on this past year, rationalization. It's like the sneakiest cousin of the liar.
Yeah.
Because every time you rationalize, you're lying.
Yeah.
And so authenticity, I think a lot of times can be like rationalizations, like best friend. Even though it's not real authenticity, but I think you can rationalize a lot of things by saying, I'm just being my true self. I'm just being authentic. This is just who I am. This is just what I do. This is just what the real me looks like. Those kind of things. And it's like,
Interesting.
no, that's not going to work.
Yeah. You know, recently someone helped me understand the difference between judgment, judging, and discernment.
Okay.
And I thought that was really important because I'm always like, oh, I don't want to judge myself. I don't want to judge others. And she was like, why not? Judgment is an important factor. And it helps you to discern. I was like, oh yeah, discernment is really important. Discernment is about being able to distinguish, discern between the varying options or the varying options. And judgment is, or at least the way I use it, is a way of giving those options some value and somehow making it good or bad. Right? And the way I heard you use rationalizing, like, oh, I'm just the way it is, kind of made it sound like there was some judgment or some maybe something to help you not to judge yourself by rationalizing it in that way. But if we can really focus on how to discern more and judge less by putting on so many values of good and bad, you know, I think it'll serve us to be more authentic, to be more open, to be more
Authentic. I love it.
More.
You can say it. I'm not saying that. I use the word. I mean, one of the TED Talks I did, I talk about that gratitude makes you more authentic. Because to me, the root word, when you go back, of authentic is author. So it's like you're the writer of your life.
Yeah.
So to me, it's about like perspective and the importance of how do you want to tell this story?
Yeah.
How do you want to intentionally write your own story? And to me, that makes it easier because it's like you could authentically write a story where you've made excuses after excuses and like one day I wills or like that you can da-da-da. And I think that I'm just trying to more and more bring into the picture that like any awesome goal, it's going to be a lot of like blood, sweat, and tears to get there. And I think that because of IG and Instagram ads that, you know, and Facebook ads, that it's like, I had one bad day, and then I found this formula, and this free opt-in below. You can be on the beach. And then we try to do it, and we're like, I must be broken because it hasn't been that easy for me, and it's not all fun. So this must not be my thing. And I'm like, just stick it out a little more. There's so many days where it sucks. Yeah. But turn the suck into the fun.
Yeah. No, and what you're reminding me of is also how, at least this was true for me and still kind of is. Okay, fine, I'm being authentic. It still is. It's like I want to embrace the parts of me that feel expansive. When I'm joyful, when I'm excited, when I'm inspired, I'm like, yes, I'm being authentic, and I'm serving from this place of gratitude and joy. But when I'm down, when I'm sad, when I'm stuck, when I'm frustrated, I don't want that part, right? But that's also an authentic part of me. And so I think the authenticity is about acknowledging that whole spectrum and somehow finding a way to love your whole self, the parts that contract you and the parts that expand you. I was going to say the good parts and the bad parts, but that's judgment again. So I changed it to contractive and expansive.
The good and bad parts of what?
I like just judging the feelings. If I'm frustrated, if I'm sad, it's bad. Okay. If I'm happy, if I'm excited, it's good. And we do that all the time, right? We judge our feelings, and I'm in a place where I'm intentionally looking to not judge myself for having those or any feelings, and just let those feelings be whatever they are.
And so you're saying now you're trying to be discerning rather than judging.
Yes.
Reminds me of guilt and shame. Yeah. Like, guilt is a good thing. Shame is a bad thing.
Yeah. Huh? Guilt is a good thing?
So the way
shame is a bad thing?
So we know, like, anytime you bring up guilt and shame,
I know what you're saying.
We're talking about Brene Brown.
Yes.
We need a Brene Brown button too, because she gets talked about a lot.
Yes, I love Brene.
So she talks about it. Guilt is a measurement, is a standard, and you feel guilty when you didn't live up to your standard. But guilt is a temporary thing. Yeah. It's I made a mistake. Whereas shame is where you then take that missing of the mark personal. It means something about me, who I am. I am a failure.
Yeah.
So, like that, is that what you're saying? Kind of with discerning that, like, hey, actually, this is like a really terrible thought. Why are you thinking this? Rather than being like, you're stupid. Why do you keep thinking this?
Exactly.
Aha moment number 2.
Yay! Cool. Yeah, that was an aha moment for me too.
I think that counts as 3.
That counts as 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
One for each. Sorry, I interrupted you with my excitement. Interrupted you. You read what?
No, good. No, I've read Brene Brown, but it's like, in every moment something hits you differently. True. So thank you.
I was just saying to somebody, they were... Also, by the way, Tasneem and I have these kind of conversations all the time, which is why you're getting the more, like, dialogue-y rather than straight interview style.
Yes, thank you. I like it.
So they were saying, like, I feel like I'm putting out the same thing in my social media every time, which I should do something different. And I was saying how say the same thing 100 times, slightly different, because oftentimes it takes people 100 times to finally be like, I've never heard that before. You're like, I've said that every day. I know, I've been like that. This one person I listened to, they're like, you should do this on your social media. You should do this. You should do this. 2 years later, I'm like, you know what I should try? I tried. I'm like, it worked.
Yeah, me too. I'm guilty. Yes.
How did you become such a good facilitator?
I don't know. Actually, someone asked me, how did you do it? And I was like, I don't know what I do. I think it is that genuine curiosity and that openness, and that, like, something else I got even before doing this work professionally. People would always be like, oh, I really like that you're never judging me. Like, I would have so many of those conversations in college, and I had a different lifestyle than they did, and they somehow felt comfortable talking to me about it. And that's one thing I heard a lot, that you don't judge me. And yeah, I don't. Why should I waste my time judging you or anybody else when you are making choices from your place of experience, needs, values? Like, you're a different person than I am. So I try to learn from other people. Even I can disagree with you, yes, and I do. I might even dislike something that you do. But then instead of making it a thing about them, like, oh, they're so bad or they're this, I just learn from it and say, okay, that's not something I want to do, or this is something I want to do more of. And so I think in facilitation, it's important to have that openness, that curiosity, and that discernment, where you're not coming from a place of right or wrong, but you're coming from a place of let's explore. So I think I've always been that person who says let's explore, and learn from people in that way.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I was thinking last night as I was reflecting on this interview we were going to do.
Yeah.
It's like, Tasneem's published a book. Like, do you know how many people were like, one day,
Yeah.
and you wrote a book, and it's a damn good book.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. It was a spiritual experience.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Well, to be honest, I never thought I would write a book, because I was like, what will I write about? And then someone said you should write a book, and I was like, okay, maybe someday. And I didn't know when that someday was. And I was sitting in a conference, and again, someone was talking about writing the book and how good it can be for your professional career and branding. And, it's a way for you to share your message on a larger... And I'm like, okay, cool, someday. And I just had that moment where I was like, wait, when is that someday? And I just intuitively turned inward and I asked, when is that someday? And I shouldn't have asked that question because the answer was now. And I was like, no, that can't be right. So I actually stepped outside, did it multiple times. I have this practice of just taking a deep breath, quieting down, being able to listen to my intuition, and it kept saying now. So I said, okay, I'm gonna honor my intuition. And so I went for it, and from that day I said yes. It was 7 months, and I published it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was in my hands and I was holding it. And writing the book, saying yes was the most difficult part, was a spiritual experience. Writing it was vulnerable because every chapter felt vulnerable for a different reason. One felt where I was defining things like spirituality, religion. I was like, what am I basing this into? Where's the research? Like, I don't want anyone to question, right? So it was vulnerable to open yourself up to criticism or people disagreeing with you. Another chapter, I shared more of my own journey, and I was like, what my college friends read this? I don't think they knew this about me, Another one, I also wrote about, so can I just take a moment to differentiate between faith and religion?
Please do.
So I'm Muslim. That's my religion.
Me too.
Woohoo! Surprise! And I'm Muslim because Islam as a framework answers a lot of the questions that I have, and it gives me a community like yourself where we can share practices and have a shared experience, right? That's why I'm Muslim. And I like the community. I like the answers that I have. It nourishes me. But Islam is not my faith. My faith is this grounding, personal experience that I have inside, presence that I have inside of me, around me, And it's that grounding presence. It's that presence that tells me that you're okay. You will be okay. Keep going, right? And that is faith. And so that's what I want people to be talking about, regardless of what religion they identify with or don't identify with. I've had some of the best conversations with atheists around this conversation of faith. And first, the word faith, I was like, I don't have faith. It was, but then when I talked to them about it from this place of it's just this grounding presence that nourishes you, they were like, oh yeah, I have faith in a lot of things. And then they'll share the beliefs or the values that nourishes them. And it's just, I love it. And so in one of the chapters of the book, I think it was chapter 9, I talked about faith in your worldviews. And I dared to say how my faith is different from the extremists who call themselves Muslim as well. We share the same religion. We apparently read the same book. And yet we have faith in very different things, And so, so it was really vulnerable to write that chapter as well. It's like, I don't know who's going to read it, what people will say. But yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, thank you.
And now you're the coach for interfaith leaders?
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I don't know why it took me so long to figure this out, but I've been doing the work of interfaith for so long, for 7-10 years now. And I just kept thinking of how to build that community. And I was like, what better way than to work with leaders who are interested in doing this work, who are committed to doing this work. And so with whatever experience that I have, with whatever discernment that I have, I want to work with interfaith leaders, whether they're starting out or are prominent and been doing the work for years and years, and really help them to tap into that authentic power, that authentic leadership that's within them. And they might be great already, and I believe that I can help them to be even more awesome by stepping into that authenticity and that intentionality and all of it, and looking at it from this place of faith.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
So we're entering into the last parts of Ramadan.
Yes.
What is Ramadan to you?
Ramadan is my favorite ritual and time of the year, religiously speaking. I love it because I feel like, with praying 5 times a day or reading the Quran or whatever, I have many different intentions with doing that. I have the intention of, being more disciplined. I have the intention of, I want something, or I'm sad and I want to, connect, or I'm asked. Like, there's just so many intentions. But with fasting, my only intention, and I'm so happy I can say this, is to do something for God. Knowing that He doesn't need me to do anything for Him. But I can still, this is the one thing I can do for Him. I can fast. And by fasting, I mean just being my best self, right? Fast from food and drink, but also fast from laziness, or fast from, any bad thoughts or those type of things as well. So it always comes so fast and it goes away so fast. But I love the fact that I really have just that intention that I'm doing it for God.
That's
it
wonderful.
Feels good.
And last year during Ramadan, I think it was during Ramadan, you did a reflection of the day on a miracle of the day. Was that during Ramadan?
Yeah, I did fall during Ramadan too. Yeah.
What was that like, looking for a miracle in
Miracle
every
day?
day? Yeah.
It was really neat. It was fun. Thank you for inspiring me to do that.
My pleasure.
Yeah. It was good because, I always thought a miracle was something like massive.
Yeah.
And by being intentional about looking for miracles, I just saw them everywhere. And it was like a mind shift, just a slight mind shift. Like, could this be a miracle? Oh, yeah, it feels like it, so it is, And there wasn't any pressure to define it or to convince myself or others that it was a miracle. It was because it was simple. And so that sense of freedom and that sense of joy with seeing it as a miracle was pretty cool.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that, seeing just the beauty in every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, there is a lot of beauty around us.
Yes.
But if we don't see it, then it's not there.
I agree.
Yeah.
What, this year is my year of grace. And one thing I'm invested in is having conversations about grace with my guests.
Yeah.
What does grace mean to you?
Grace is ease. And it's ease, not like everything is easy ease, but it's like this graceful ease, right? Like there is this peace, and that's what gives you the ease. Yeah.
I agree. That's what my answer is when people say. It's kind of like where we're talking about the embracing the suck. Yeah. It's while you're embracing the suck, inviting in the ease at the same time. So it's like, hey, this sucks. Yeah. It's all good.
Right? I'll get through it.
Or sometimes because I can be so like, I'm going to work through this, that I need to like, maybe I'm trying too hard. Let me ease a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I think I definitely had this. I think I have it less now, where I thought something great, it has to be difficult to get something great. If it's not difficult, then how can it be that great?
Yes, talk about it.
So I realize now that that's not necessarily true. And something that comes with ease, like my China trip.
Yeah.
Can I say it?
I don't know what you're about to say. Oh. You can swear. Are you going to swear? Go for it.
No. Why not? I can say it. It's not a biggie. I mean, it's not even a biggie. I don't even know why I was like, can I say it? So I've always wanted to travel, right? And travel to exotic places, and especially to the East. I have this longing for just the Eastern cultures. And I just came back from China recently, and the trip just fell on my lap. My aunt just came to my house, a regular visit. She's like, want to go to China?
Wow.
I said, sure, when? And she was like, when can you go? And I looked at my maximum window of dates that I had open. And she was like, okay, that can work, maybe, let me check. And basically everything fell in order, right? And my aunt is amazing. And I kind of assumed this, that when she said want to go, she's going to be pretty much funding the trip. I was correct. And so basically I spent 12 days in China, and I spent like less than $200 out of my own pocket.
Alhamdulillah.
So mashallah say, the ease with which it all happened. Oh, and FYI, I don't recommend this part, but it's true for me. I went to China totally unprepared. Unprepared. I didn't know what apps to use. I didn't know. I mean, I knew nothing. And I just showed up. But the ease with which the trip happened, the grace with which everything unfolded is just amazing.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That was my aha of last year.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have to be hard.
Yeah.
An aha for me in my personal life is I'm usually an early adapter to ideas, concepts, things like this.
Yeah.
And I work with organizations because they like that I can come in and see like, hey, this idea over here is going to streamline. It's going to make everything so much better. But I'm so used to people being like, oh, no, but it's different. It's going to change. Oh, no. Then I have to be like, we're going to do it. Like, to get people through it, that oftentimes I have to invite that sometimes it is going to be easy.
Yeah, it can be fun as long as you're open. Yeah, and you're not holding on to what you think it should be or how it should be. Like the shoulding part, shoulding and authenticity doesn't go together. Yeah.
That's like when we'd say to my dad, like, yeah, but. He'd be like, yeah, but live in the woods.
Live in the woods.
This has been amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for this.
It's been really amazing, yeah.
And I hope that you and our past guest, Noor start a podcast.
Woohoo! Let's do it. We'll be the magical trio.
No, that y'all start a podcast.
Oh, she and I. Oh, we're already a magical duo.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I'll stop by anytime y'all want to trio it up.
You'll be our magical guest every time.
I'll just pop in like, it's me. They're like, leave.
Yeah.
So this is an honor that you came here, and
my pleasure.
Yeah. For folks looking, if you like that magic that Tasneem was talking about of faith and the ease, Tasneem's book, The Faith Connector, lives up to its truth. And if you are somebody who is helping people connect with their faith, we need people to have our back. Tasneem's the kind of person you want in your corner. She has your back. She's going to take you there. So where can people reach out? They're like, Tom, I'm in. Where can they do that?
Thefaithconnector.com is a good place. The Faith Connector. And my book's available on Amazon, so you can go directly there. But The Faith Connector, you'll find everything.
Nice. Yeah. TomRell.com/Tasneem is show notes central. TomRell.com/TASNEEM. TomRell.com/TASNEEM. Tasneem. That's who our guest. That's where you'll find the show notes. Make sure you let Tasneem know how much you appreciate her, how much she rocks, because she absolutely does.
Yay.
She's amazing. She came on here, she and I was going to be like, authenticity, your favorite word? I hate it. I hate that word. I just knew that I knew you were going to, like, because people think what I was saying, that you were going to air it out. You're going to clear us out. And I think that you're going to make a lot of people who were authentic skeptics into authentic fans.
And you have a way, Tom. You have a way of creating space for things to be cleared out. And the way you respond to people as they're clearing out is just so inviting. And it's such a beautiful reflection that it's like, oh yeah, I did have a clearing out. Otherwise, I'd miss it. So thank you.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I'll drop the $50. Woo!
I'll be rich today.
Woo! So the way we end this is I always have my guests tell people 300 reasons why I'm the coolest person on earth. No, I'm just playing. You're like,
one.
I need at least 500, okay? Like, no, we like to end by having you share an invitation for the guests listening. So what would your invitation for people to do, to be, to consider, to think about? What is your invitation?
Yeah. I would invite you and everybody else to really start recognizing what a big, amazing gift you are. And that the best gift you can be and the best gift you can give to your family, your friends, the world, God, is to be yourself. And so my invitation is to be your greatest gift.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much once again. This is
You're
truly
welcome.
an honor and a pleasure.
Woo-hoo. Same here.
Get Tasneem's book, share her the love, y'all.
Let's do it.
And as always, we're wishing you peace and blessings. Thank you. one more thing. I'd love to continue the conversation. Feel free to join me at tomearl.com/join. Subscribe below, or let's connect on social media. Tom Earl Artist. Thanks again for watching.